Hi everyone, I'm Emma, a certified dog trainer.
And I'm Kirsten, a certified dog behavior consultant.
And this is Dog Chats. Join us as we chat about dog behavior, having fun with your dogs, and building relationships. We will offer practical advice and a bit of humor.
Welcome to episode number 2, Summer Adventures and Outings. Emma and I are excited to share some of our own personal favorite outings ideas and
maybe some of our mishaps.
Absolutely. So we've got a few tips and suggestions, and I'm going to jump right in with something Emma and I were talking about a minute ago. During the summer, there's something about the pace, maybe it's just because there's more light during the day, but I really find walking my dog so pleasurable. I don't like the rain, so.
Yeah, and I kind of don't mind the rain because I am
because you're from Ireland, yeah.
And maybe don't like the heat as much as you do.
Because you're from Ireland.
Yeah. Yes. But it is just a beautiful time of the year, no matter where you live. It's just a great time to just get out a little bit more and enjoy that sunlight while we have it. We would love some rain, no doubt, here in California, but we do like these days as well.
Yeah. And one of the things we talk a lot about, and Emma's going to give you some specifics on this later, we try to keep our dog out of the midday heat for their feet for lots of reasons. And so we also need to think about meeting their mental stimulation, needs along with the physical. And so trying to rethink your walk. Stay with me here because I know this is hard for a lot of people, right? We walk our dog twice a day.
Yes.
We've got this pattern that the walk is for me. If the walk is for your dog, consider going to a park and doing what Janet Finley calls the deconstructed walk. And it meets the dog's secondary needs. They have their primary needs, food, water, potty, sleep, and feeling safe. And they have their secondary needs, mental stimulation, physical stimulation, seeking or scenting, and companionship with you. So you can go to a park and meet all 4 of those things in 20 minutes in the shade, and your dog will be so fulfilled and happy. It's kind of extraordinary. It changes up the rhythm of what you do with them, and my dogs love it.
Let's deconstruct that a little bit as to what that looks like.
Okay.
So when you're out in the park, instead of just that walking just fast and saying we're getting exercise, is just stopping and letting your dog sniff.
Yep.
So that's so important and so popular with the trainers now that we all want our dogs to take the time, sniff. Their noses are so sensitive to smells, so much more than ours, and just getting out there and enjoying it and picking different locations.
Yeah.
So there's different smells and different things to see. And what else would you say that looks like enrichment in the environment?
And so important because most of the dog's brain is olfactory. And so we have to engage that part. If we engage them with sniffing, they're actually going to learn so much more information about the environment than any other way. So sometimes I will bring out little plastic cups and hide a treat under one and then scatter the cups around on the grass. So that might get my dog started. Because certain dogs, anxious dogs, tend to just kind of stare when they get to a new place, scanning like, uh-oh, who's here? Is there a good dog or bad dog? Da, da, da. And if we can get that nose to the ground and engage them with a sniffing game, it just changes their emotional state. And they're able to take in so much more information.
And it does, even with shy dogs, I've noticed that's really helpful for them because they pick up so much information from the environment, is just to get out, sniff a little bit and kind of go, okay.
Breathe.
I can handle this.
Yeah, and when they're sniffing and you're watching that, it's almost like meditative breathing. They start to take deep breaths.
So getting out there for morning walks, so say the day is really hot. So some of the tips we would have is get out early in the morning or maybe later in the evening when it's not so hot.
I love that after dinner.
And then after dinner, it's a nice time to take care of our digestive system after we've had our dinner as well for a good walk. And then also in the middle of the day, if if your schedule doesn't work and you're thinking about taking your dog out in the middle of the day and it's warm, think about a shaded place, not a huge amount of exercise, so we're not exhausting them, because
They
remember,
overheat so fast.
they do overheat so fast. If you don't know how your dog shows those signs of being stressed, here's what it looks like. The panting, a really open mouth and crazy panting will tell you that your dog is beginning to overheat.
Yeah.
Right? The other thing to think about too is the pavement.
Yeah.
Our pavement can get super hot on those hot days. And a way to test that is to put the palm of your hand down on the pavement. If you can't put
That's
it
such a
down
good
for
idea.
5 or 10 seconds, then your dog's paws are not going to like it either. So keep that in mind. Look for shade. The asphalt tends to hold that heat a lot more than just the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So make sure you have to do that. I know sometimes when I travel and we stop at a gas station and we have to let my dog out to do her business, I'm always like, how can I get from here to the grass when it's too hot? So we really want to think about that. Anything else locally that is a good tip for just bringing your dog out for a walk in the summer?
Just carrying water.
Yes.
You know, they overheat so much faster than us. They're wearing those fur coats.
Yes.
And the way that they're panting and hanging their tongue out, it's so interesting that it's actually so cool air hits the tongue, because the air in their body's hotter. The body temperature is hotter than outside. But if their tongue is hanging out and the air is not cool, they're just not getting that cooling system working right. So bringing water, putting not soaking them with the water, but putting their paws in the water can help cool them down, and putting a little water on their belly and chest.
Yes. That's great. So that's the local walks. So let's talk about you're going to go on a day adventure.
Da-da-da.
Hey.
Let me jump in and ask you.
Yes.
You've got 6 hours. I'm giving you an extra hour.
6 hours.
6 hours.
Wow, that's a day off.
Yeah, 6
Yeah,
hours for you and Kiva and John to do your very favorite thing. What would that look like?
Our favorite thing probably would be to go to the beach.
Yes.
And so that takes preparation in itself, right? So a couple of supplies we might have are water or towel. If we're going to be out a little longer and we're bringing a picnic, then we want to make sure that we have some food for her as well. I always bring my treat bag. Because we just don't know what's going to be going on at the beach, right? And then we head on out. I usually keep her when we get to the beach. I kind of take a look around first to see what's going on. Is there other dogs? Is there people sitting, having their picnic on the beach? Do I want my dog running over there? So I kind of keep an eye on everything before I decide to leave her off leash and where's a good spot. Because as soon as she goes off leash, she does this crazy zoomies, and then she goes, okay, I'm at the beach.
Yeah.
She gets so excited by being on the sand and stuff. So and then we just go for a nice walk on the beach. So that would be my perfect day out.
How do you decide whether or not it's a good time to let her off leash? Like, how do you know that?
So, as trainers, we look at body language all the time, and we love it, right? So I'm always looking, I always feel like I'm a radar first, like I'm looking around to see what other dogs are doing, what other people are doing before I leave my dog off. But I'm also looking at body language. I might see 2 dogs off in the distance, and I might just see how they're playing with each other. Are they enjoying each other's company? Are they moving along? Are they, loose bodies? Are they stiff when they meet other dogs off in the distance? And then I decide whether that's going to be a dog she meets or not. So most of the time, all the dogs are good on the beach because there's like this lovely, great space for them all to move nicely around each other.
And then do you ever, are there times you put the leash back on? Because with some of my dogs, I'm conflicted. I'll be the only one at the beach with the leash on, but there's moments where I just...
Yes, there's lots of times where I put the leash on. Listen, as a trainer, it doesn't mean that you have a dog that's 100% perfect. That is not the case, right? Right? My name is Emma, and my dog is now perfect. So there is times where there's small dogs especially, I will always maybe put her on leash as we're passing small dogs because she's 60 pounds, and sometimes she goes over there and she's like, hey, you want to play? And she's like right over there in their face, and that can be a little intimidating for the small dogs. So I will put a leash on and off, and I think it's a great way to work with putting the leash on and off your dog too, so your dog doesn't think I only get the leash put on when the fun is over and we're on our way home.
Great point.
So I like her, sometimes she's walking along, sometimes she's off leash, sometimes she's on leash, so I kind of just mix it up as we're moving around, and then according to what's moving around us too. Like sometimes, even though she's great with kids, if there's kids playing in the sand, I'll just leash her up. So just in case, she might just take a potter over there and they're a little bit frightened of dogs. Not all people love dogs as much as we think everybody should love dogs.
And not all dogs love all people.
And not all dogs love all people. So here's the other thing with leash that's really important, and this goes for a hiking trail. If I see somebody coming towards me with a leash, I'm going to put on my leash on my dog.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know what their reasons are, and they want to enjoy their time too. It could be that their dog just isn't ready to be off leash.
Yeah.
It could be that their dog isn't good with other dogs, but they still want to go out for a walk. So we have to maneuver ourselves around them.
You don't just yell, "My dog's friendly."
My dog's friendly. Well, I have, again, my name is Emma, and I have said it a couple of times, but it's an expression that we don't.
I can't say that.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah.
I can't even say that.
I was not able to say that with my last two dogs. We don't like, as trainers, we don't necessarily like that expression, because it doesn't matter if your dog is friendly, my dog may not be friendly. So
my dog's on leash for a reason.
yes, exactly. We do need you to call your dog back. So yes, try not to say that at the beach. If somebody has a dog on a leash, there's a reason why they have them on a leash, and we want to respect that.
You got me thinking about trails, hiking.
Yeah.
So, all over this country and the world, there are beautiful places to walk. So your hikes might be different. They might be like a city hike through a park. We are so lucky in Marin County. We have a lot of open space trails, and I can only go on a couple of them with my dogs because my dogs have issues with other dogs. I have to be selective about where we go hiking. Wide open spaces where I can see if other off-leash dogs are coming at us, because that's an issue around here. But I love to kind of rethink where I'm hiking. A lot of people can take their dog on any trail, because 90% of the dogs are social and happy, and I can't do that. So I look even for, like, you're going to laugh at me, but like wide, empty movie theater parking lots.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
we will just go do a sniff walk around there, because I can see if another dog's coming. And just because there's a lot of asphalt doesn't mean my dog isn't enjoying it. Like, I think people have this mindset, like, I have to get my dog out in nature. But an empty movie theater parking lot has some incredible smells. And then I can use the long line and let them move around, and I don't worry about somebody coming around a corner. So for me, when it's cool enough in the mornings in the summer, I like to do a lot of that kind of hike. Or I go find a golf course if dogs are allowed before hours, and we do that kind of wandering around a golf course, just so I can keep an eye out.
Well, you're lucky you have a golf course that is no longer a golf
I'm
course
so
in your neighborhood.
Except now it's turned into a dog park.
And now it's a dog park. So on trails, let's talk a little bit about trails. Again, one of the things I want to mention, and because we mentioned the beach and trails, we do live in an area that we, again, are spoiled, that there is beaches that we can have our dogs on. There is trails that we can have our dogs on. And not every area is like that. Some beaches require you to have your leash on at all times, and some beaches, like state beaches here, don't allow you to bring the dogs on there. And that goes with the trails too. So some of the smaller trails will require you to have your leash on, and then maybe some of the fire roads, they're called fire roads so that the fire engines can go on them, which it's nice for trails because you've got lots of space if you meet another dog. But some of them are, if you've got a nice recall, which means you can call your dog to you, and that they don't go off the trail.
Yeah. I can get on a trail if I get out there really early in the morning at 5 or 6, and I'm not going to run into a lot of people.
Maybe a coyote.
Yeah. Well,
or a deer.
So I was thinking about that, because I got my dog Mick after seeing a mountain lion on the trail when I was running, and I wanted protection, and just because he is hyper alert, being a German Shepherd Border Collie mix. I mean, Since I've had him, though, almost 10 years, we haven't seen a mountain lion again. So maybe that's just my
good.
lucky charm.
That's good.
Lots of coyotes.
That's good.
Yeah.
And one of the things, a lot of clients ask me, we're on the trail and a deer comes out and our dog takes off after the deer. It's a hard
Are you talking
one.
about me?
No. That's happened to you?
Oh.
Yes.
That's a story for another podcast.
Okay. So we work
right
on
now,
our recalls. That's having your dog come to you when you call them, but and you can speak more to this about the part of the brain that your dog goes into when this happens. But, recall, we work on it, but it's not 100%.
Never. Can't be.
It just can't be. Yeah. I mean, like they're living, breathing beings.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so some of my dogs are on leash on hikes. Some are off, but I'm doing some check-ins with them, and never off if I think there's going to be a coyote or, where I live, there's some unfriendly dogs. So I'm pretty selective. But all that being said, the trail is a wonderful place for both the dog and the human. I like the trail a lot better than the movie theater parking lot.
Yes.
But I have to be vigilant.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about a couple of more things that I'd like to chat about. Is city outings with your dogs, because that can be fun in the summer too. We live close to San Francisco, and there's always great things going on
now
the
all
weekends.
These outdoor restaurants.
Exactly. It's so great now if your dog is comfortable with that. So let's talk a little bit about that. If your dog is comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and choosing the right spot for your dog. There's a brewery that I love, and for years I kept bringing my dog, and we used to call it like Pinball Alley because the tables are set up so on either side of the sidewalk, so people all day long are walking by with their dog, and that can be really stressful to have strangers and other dogs passing your dog as they're trying to relax. So I look for now more like a wider open space. And luckily, because of COVID, with all the 6 feet spacing at tables, I feel like it's more dog friendly. And I like to bring a mat when I go out because we do a lot of mat training, so my dog's conditioned to relax on the mat. Sometimes I bring a bone or Kong, but that's actually caused problems with all the off-leash dogs where I live, where an off-leash dog comes under the table to get the bone and then...
And I love that. I think we love mat work for that reason. It's one of my favorite things to use mat work for. I could have forgotten a mat, but if I have a towel or something in the car, I just put that down on the ground beside where I'm sitting, and then my dog Kiva, just show her the mat, and she just comes on there and just settles down because we've worked on it, and then we eat our food. She might have something herself, and
it's amazing, that conditioned response.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like when I see a beer, I just take a deep breath. I relax so much. I'm like, we're here. We're at the brewery. And then my dog sees the mat, and they're like, oh.
And what fun is it to be able to bring your dog all these places with
wonderful.
You? It's just so great, and having the opportunity to do that during the summer months is just awesome.
Yeah.
And one thing you were mentioning about bringing a Kong or anything like that, I remember bringing a Kong for Kiva right when she was a puppy, and being out somewhere for the day, and we were sitting outside eating, and I gave her the Kong, and every 5 minutes I was up because it had rolled down the street, and I'd get up and take it and bring it back, and 2 minutes later it would roll.
They need to make square ones.
Yeah, they need to make square ones. But bully sticks is very popular too, a chew item that they can have, and she likes that. That's a better one than the rolling away ones. Yeah. So then to just finish up, let's talk a little bit about if you're going on a picnic and you decide a picnic with a bunch of people.
Oh yeah,
and
a bunch of dogs, I'm sure.
And a bunch of dogs maybe. And you want to bring your dog with you. What should we think about then?
Well, that just made me really stressed because if I can't bring my dog,
I probably wouldn't bring my dog.
I wouldn't bring my dog. Yes. But I've had dogs in the past. I had a chocolate lab named McKegney who I could bring anywhere.
What was her name?
McKegney.
I love that.
McKegney. She was that kind of dog that I could bring to the picnic. She was happy to be tied to a table, but I had to be vigilant. She was a lab. Any chance she got, if a 3-year-old walked by with a cupcake, take a bite of that.
Yes.
If nobody's looking, paws are going on the table. I had to make a good plan so that I could actually relax too. Otherwise, it felt like if you're at the picnic and the whole time your eyes aren't on your dog, that's not right. But you also can't be sitting yourself up to a situation. Yeah.
You want to have some fun too.
Have some fun. So we had a great canvas collapsible pen in the car for her, and she would go in there and just take a nap in the shade. Or she was also great. We practiced tying downs a lot, like tying her to a tree, and she would have her mat. But if there's other dogs, I don't know. At this point in my life, I think I'd leave my dogs at home.
Yeah, so it's really something to think about. Will you have to manage your dog a lot at the picnic?
Yeah.
Because you could have a dog that's totally fine and it's just like, I'm mellow, I'm just hanging, no big deal. So that could be the situation too. But if you think it's going to be hard for your dog and it might stress you out, and then it might be a good opportunity to give them some exercise before you go to the picnic, and then either bring them to the picnic or not, decide whether to bring them or not, and then be setting yourself up for success and your dog up for success. That, do I need to keep my dog away from the table if I think they're going to get up there and get stuff? Can one of us manage the dog while the other person helps with the picnic? So
you're saying it helps to have a good partner.
Well, that too, but or anybody that can help you hold the dog while you go get your food or whatever. So just be thinking about what it would look like when you're there. Is it going to be worth it? Are you both going to have fun? Because that's really what it's about.
Yep. And I think a lot of my clients who got dogs during COVID, the dogs didn't experience things like this, like the public event kind of thing.
Exactly.
And then now all of a sudden they're bringing the dog out, and some of the dogs don't want to be there. Same with restaurants.
And that's the other side of that. Are they comfortable with a lot of people around?
Yeah.
So really just looking at that dog in front of you and deciding, is this something that's going to be enjoyable for them and for you?
Yes, such a good point. Thanks for tuning in today, and hope you'll join us for our next episode. You can reach Emma at
ecdogtraining.com or on Instagram at ecdog_training, and Kirsten at
kwhappydogs.com or on Facebook at kwhappydogs. Don't forget to hit subscribe. See you next time.